Good morning, internet people, friends, and people streaming. I apologize for my voice today. I have a bit of a cold. I was debating maybe just 10 minutes ago if I was going to cancel because I feel pretty terrible. But I'm going to muscle through. I think I'm going to do this. If I happen to fall over, don't be concerned. I may have just passed out. I'll probably get back up. If I don't, I will see you next week. Unless I died, but I don't think I'll die. I think I'm okay. All right, we're gonna do this. Happy Blackest of the Black Fridays. Does anyone know what that even means? Like, what is Black? I know like it's a sales day, but like, where did the word Black Friday come from? Is it related to the sales? I don't know. Let's check in with the chat because I'm pretty loopy today. Enchanted Atmospheres. You said you can't wait to tune in. I think, oh, that was earlier. Darren James, hello from the UK. Farzad Lanjani. This app seems like a game changer. Oh, we're talking about Procreate Dreams because that's my thumbnail. Because that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Diana Lisa Robinson, good morning to you. You said that you got it today. Nisha Day, good morning to you. Paulo Eduardo Rolla, hello. Weston, thank you. I'm hoping to feel better. I was feeling like I was dodging it for a while because my kid has been sick. And I was like, no, I'm not getting sick. I'm good at this. And then I got sick. So here we are. I'm just taking some Apple pencil tips out of the bag. I realized that I was running very low because I've been chewing through them using this KCT paper feel screen protector. I don't know if they were just getting worn to begin with, but I've been going through them quickly. So yesterday I went a little crazy and I ordered a lot of different kinds of Apple pencil tips from Amazon, just almost all of them. So my plan is to, I don't know, do a video where I try them all out to see, what works. So we'll see. William L. said, Fresco fanboy succumbs to the Procreate Dreams virus. That's funny. So I knew I wanted to do something with Procreate Dreams for this video, and I spent the last couple days playing with it as much as I could and watching some videos and trying to figure things out. And I think how I want to do this is definitely play around with it, but also talk about it in relationship to the motion features in Fresco. I think what I've sort of determined in my initial use case is that Procreate Dreams is amazing. However, at least from my workflow, it's not going to replace Fresco in terms of like if I'm just trying to add motion to an illustration, which is more commonly what I do in my work, as opposed to like full-on animated sequence. Like the animation work comes into my work as an illustration that otherwise wouldn't have movement, but adding movement to that and like morphing things and that kind of stuff. And it seems like Fresco is still, for me, better for that for a few reasons. One, I think that the drawing experience is a little bit better. Not just in Fresco, but like regular Procreate than Procreate Dreams. It's almost the same, but there's so much advanced animation features in Dreams that, it kind of eats away at your workspace. It's a little bit different. You'll see when we get into it. And because Fresco is designed for like adding motion to an illustration, there's a lot of stuff that's just easier in Fresco to do. But there are some really unique ways that you can animate in Procreate Dreams, and the fact that you can bring in music, you can bring in video, you can do all kinds of stuff that's just not possible in Fresco. So that makes it great for animation. But again, I think it's really important to think about it, think about them as very different things. That's why Procreate Dreams exists in addition to Procreate. They're not the same thing. Like Procreate Dreams is animation software. Fresco and Procreate are drawing software, illustration software, and that allow for motion. And Fresco allows for motion and illustration in a very powerful and easy to use way. So before we get into that, I'm contractually obligated as a business person who's trying to, be a person that makes money doing stuff. I have to talk about Black Friday sales because it's Black Friday. So my shop is having a Black Friday sale with the promo code Black Friday, obviously. I don't know what else it would be. And there's a link below to my shop. And it says Black Friday there too. So I'm gonna hold that off the screen. But that's everything in my shop, which includes my gritty vector brush presets for Fresco. These have been way more popular than I was anticipating. So let me know in the comments if you've been using them and if you're enjoying them. Also, I just the other day released a new font bundle, which includes all of these fonts. Wiggle Nation, Chunky Lean, which is a new one, Jiggler, which is the one that's designed to be animated. It has 3 different alternates that you can just like set on a loop and then they wiggle, give you that line boil effect. Then I've got my block Piascik, Ultra Tough, CP Sans, which is like basically a handwriting font, and then IDK OTF, which is just random. It's not very useful, but it's a fun font that I just drew random letters for. But these are all available as a set, and then everything else is in my shop. So check it out. I think you might like some of them. I also have some of those fonts available on their own on my site as well, and I'll be adding more. Also, I recently launched a shop with TeePublic. They've been reaching out to me for a while, and for some reason I was thinking that maybe they weren't really good or something like that. So finally I was like, you know what, why don't you send me some samples so I can see? So they test printed some shirts for me, and I was very happy with the results. So I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. So I have a shop up there. It's an easy way for me to add lots of different graphics without having to worry about having full-on inventory of those. The samples they sent me, I've like run them through the wash. They're holding up. The image quality is good. The color is good. Happy about that. But for Black Friday, all shirts are $15, and they have other stuff, hoodies and stuff like that. But I have tons of stuff on there. I think I have like almost 40 different designs. So check it out. And if there's a graphic of mine or something that I've drawn that you'd love to see on a shirt, let me know, because I can make those available easily on TeePublic. That's the benefit of sites like this. All these are linked below. 2 other things I want to mention quickly. If you saw one of my previous videos where I reviewed Kyle Webster's amazing Fresco class on Domestika, that is linked below because the class is on sale for like $6.99 right now, and I have a promo code in the description. That class is amazing. It's incredible. Just for its illustration content in general, even if you weren't using Fresco. So good. His like color mixing technique. Love that. I walked through that in that video review. So check that out. And then also Skillshare is having 50% off membership, I think for a year. And I have several classes on Skillshare, and I'm working on a new one soon. And what else? Retro Splico, 50% off. The brush that I almost always draw with, the Classic Inker, which is a great pair with my VV Sharpie from the Vector set, is in their liner set. And Fresco uses Photoshop brushes. So that's linked below as well. crazy good deals. Also, the Darkboard, the thing that I'm going to be drawing on that I use to draw with that makes my iPad feel amazing. That I think they have a Black Friday sale. I don't remember what it is, but that's linked below too. Okay. One more thing. Just a quick shout out to my channel members, especially the super supporters and above. Couldn't do this without you. When you are a super supporter or above member of this channel, you get your name illustrated and included in all the videos I make while you are a member. So thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you. And if you are one of these people and you would like the file for your name, just shoot me an email and I will send it to you. All right, good talk. Let me catch my breath. I hate having a cold. How's everyone doing? For some reason, my chat window does not like to auto scroll down. That's why we ran into issues when I was live streaming with my friend Josh. Did you see that live stream? I thought that was a really fun one. All my live streams are always in the live stream section playlist on my channel. Darren asked if I ship to the UK. I do ship to the UK. Also, I just see Robin saying, is the low frame rate on the camera intentional? No. Am I having frame rate issues again? Because I thought I fixed that. Oh boy. Okay, well, does it look bad to anyone else? It could be a streaming issue. Icarus, I'm sorry that you were sick too. Diana Lisa, you said you've been practicing the color mixing from Kyle's class. Yeah, it's great. I love that. Well, I apologize if the frame rate is low. It could have something to do with the streaming. Shout out to the Sky Mic and your search. Hello from Spain, Pasha. Yeah, so if there's a frame rate issue, I apologize. Listen, it's live. I can't, I don't know why. I don't know. Let me just check one thing real quick. And then I'm just gonna kind of roll with it because there's nothing I can do. I just need to pull up my camera effects. So I was saying something, and I'm trying to remember what that was, but it was something that I was gonna say. Why can I never find things that I want to find? So yeah, Kyle's class, amazing. All right, I give up. I'm sorry if their frame rate is weird. Okay. Other people are saying there's no issues. It could be, Scotty Digital said you typed in dartboard for the iPad. No, I would not recommend throwing darts at your iPad. Okay, so let's, Laura, you said you love my use of color. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's get my, let's go over to my iPad. Let's get situated over here. Yeah, so I can't really, the frame rate thing, I don't know. It's been a struggle on and off for me when I'm using Ecamm. I don't know. If someone wants to help me afterwards, you can do that. Okay, so Icarus, I did use Retro Supply Co. for the Rezo brushes. I have some videos on that on my channel. I was actually gonna do a tutorial with their Photoshop Action Brush for that today, but I did a poll on my channel and everyone voted for Procreate Dreams stuff, so that's what's gonna happen. So here we are in Procreate Dreams, and I will start this by saying I am by no means a Procreate Dreams expert. I've only been playing with it for 3 days, but I do have an understanding of it based on reading a lot of stuff and watching a lot of different things on how it works and just having experience with animation stuff. So it's very much a learning curve, but I can walk you through some of this stuff and just kind of give my initial thoughts. And then I think I'm going to do like a little comparison with Fresco for this. So when you're in Procreate Dreams and you hit plus at the top, that's how you can like start a new thing. And then if you go to these dots in the top corner, you can like set the defaults. So the defaults are like 24 frames per second and then 30-second duration. So that's kind of a lot to draw. If you set it to 12, that's like the equivalent of what's called animating on twos, which is how most or a lot of animation is done, meaning there's like for every frame of 24 frame video, it's like held for 2 frames. And it's a little confusing. 24 frames per second is like standard cinematic video. So 12 frames per second is a good default for illustrated animation. And then I'm just going to set the duration to 5 seconds because we're not doing a 30-second thing here. So 5 seconds is good. And then you can just kind of hit draw or empty or whatever. And then we've got this new document here. Wolfcar said Adobe is hacking the stream due to content. Okay. So this is sort of the default work area. Up at the top, it looks fairly familiar because we've got like the brushes and like the smudge thing, that eraser, and you've got your layers. But then you've got this whole like timeline thing at the bottom. And there's like different modes and different ways that you can animate. So this first one is like the drawing mode, and this is where you would do like frame by frame animation. So for example, if you're in here, you can kind of swipe this timeline down and you'll get this like flip book thing. And then you can just sort of like draw something here frame by frame. So let's say we draw this little fly monster thing and put some wings on them like that. And then you would come down here and then hit plus, and this would like add a new frame. So you'll notice that you can't see anything here. So that's because we need to turn on our onion skin so we can see the previous frames. This is familiar if you've done any sort of motion in Procreate or Fresco. So if you click on this in the bottom left, the timer thing right there, you can hit show onion skin. So I'm glad to see that they've continued over having color changing onion skins, because I think that's a really helpful feature, which is what I talked about in my recent Procreate morph video. So if you go below that, you'll see edit onion skin, and this is where you could like change the color if you wanted to. I'll change it to blue, and then you can change like the opacity. 75 is pretty aggressive. And then you can control how many frames you see. I'll just leave that for now. So now I see this frame, so I can just trace over it. Just kind of redraw this over. And maybe make these legs a little wiggly shorter. And then maybe put the wings vertical to make them flapping. And I think, we don't need to do a plus? I don't know. And we'll do one more frame so we can get like a 3-frame loop going on. And then maybe we'll do the wings down low. And then maybe these things can be fully extended. So when you're done, and you can like swipe through and like see the process. But if you want to go back to your timeline, you just kind of like take your flipbook thing and then like slam it down, and then it goes back here. And then if you hit play, you'll see we've got our little 3-frame loop going on there. Yeah, so I see some comments about the brushes and streamline. So I guess you can like use, so all like the brushes are here. And I saw something about being able to like use whatever brushes you have in Procreate, but like some of the brushes that I liked to use in Procreate are not showing up here, and I don't know how to add those in yet, so that's something I'm still trying to figure out. I do notice that you can't change the brush settings in here, and it seems like the streamline is like I like the syrup brush because it has a lot of streamline, but it doesn't have a lot of streamline in Procreate Dreams, so that's weird. But other than that, all like the normal default ones are here. I just don't know how to add those in from the other one. Another comment, Shalom Casson said, still no vectors. Well, I think because this is animation software, it wouldn't really make sense for them to use vector, because vector is more of like for being able to print at all different sizes. Vector can get a little messy for this sort of animation kind of thing. Hippopotamus Bosch said, Procreate Dreamin' is my favorite Mamas and the Papa song. That's a funny joke and definitely what I was referencing when I made the thumbnail. Christopher Johnson said, how do you get to the flipbook? So the flipbook thing is when you're in your timeline and you're in drawing mode. So you're in drawing mode when you have that little squiggly line set up. You just kind of push down your timeline and flipbook shows up there, and then you can like move this around too, which is kind of cool. So when you're done with flipbook mode, you just sort of like slam that down into your timeline. I think you can also just hit done. Let's see. Yeah, so if you hit done, it goes back as well. So now that we have this like 3-frame loop, what we can do is make this into a group and then duplicate it so that we have it over a sequence. So you can also like pinch in this timeline area to like make it smaller, which is cool. So if we go into this edit mode, which is like these two squares, you'll see it says timeline edit. We can take the Apple Pencil and draw a line through and select these. And then if we like long hold, you can see group. And now this is all one group. So that's kind of cool. And you can like just take this stuff and like move it around your timeline. So this is one of the things that makes Procreate Dreams different from like just animating in regular Procreate or Fresco. It's because you've got this timeline and you can move things around and have things happen at different times as opposed to just constantly starting and stopping or just like starting and looping. That's why Fresco and regular Procreate are about like adding motion to an illustration. So it's just like a constant loop. Whereas this can be more of like a sequence, a narrative, an actual animation. And that's why this is animation software versus motion for illustration. And I think that's the way you want to think about it. So the benefit to grouping these is now that I have this, we can go ahead and duplicate it. And now you'll see that we've got 2 of those, and then that makes that sequence, a little bit longer. So then we could do the same thing where we could select these 2 like that. And then we could duplicate that. Oh, I forgot to group it first, but we can do the same thing where we can select all 3 of these and then we can group. And now we can duplicate this, and then we can duplicate it enough to get to like, so we have it for the full sequence. So you just long hold, duplicate, long hold, duplicate, long hold, duplicate. And to speed things up, again, we could just draw a line through to select all of them, and then hold, group, and now if we duplicate this one, now we have this loop extending throughout the whole 5-second timeline we have here. So I can go ahead and just make this all into one group. Okay. So now that we have this loop, we can actually animate this all together. So I think if we deselect that, now that this is all a group, we could like scale it all. Like we can make it smaller like this, and then I'll do it for the whole thing. I think one of the best things about animating in Procreate Dreams is this feature called, I don't know what it's called, but it's like, I think it's perform. So what that means is you can do the movement you want it to do while in this perform mode. So let me just show you what that is. So when you select this second one on here, so you'll see we've got play, and then next to play is this perform mode. So when you're in perform mode, as soon as you start moving something, it's gonna like record that, and you'll see on the timeline, it's gonna go across. So let me just move this around like this. Now, if we play that, it's gonna fly around based on how we moved it. And that is an amazingly powerful feature, because getting this movement with like keyframes and stuff like that would be pretty difficult. Now, if you were just trying to do this sort of thing, you could do that, I don't know, arguably easier in Fresco, because you could do that frame by frame loop and then just draw the path, and then the path is a lot more editable than all of these different keyframes. So if you look here, you'll see what we did added all of these little keyframes to our timeline. So what this does is it's telling it where it should be at all these points. The cool thing is you can change these too, like you can move them around to modify it. And that's pretty cool. So someone mentioned the ease in, ease stuff. So what that is like how it actually moves. So you can edit that a little bit, but not completely. And to be honest, I'm forgetting how to do it, but there's like a thing where you can go in to like modify it. I think maybe I have to have a keyframe selected. Expand movement scale. Yeah, it's complicated. I don't know how to do that one yet, but that I think is one of the most powerful things that you can do here. Another thing that makes Procreate Dreams different and really exciting for me is the fact that you can animate directly on video too. So let's do a new file here. I'll just do empty, and if I go to plus and choose video, I can grab this clip of me talking, because that's what's on my phone, and I hit play, and you'll see there's me talking. The audio is there, I just have my volume down. Let's see if you can actually. I think it won't play because I have it turned off. But the audio is there when I'm not plugged in. You can hear it. So what's cool about this is we can come in here and just go to plus and do a new track. And then on this new track, I could go into like flipbook mode, and I could, I don't know, draw some glasses on my face. And then I can turn on my onion skins. Let's bring down the opacity. And I could just be drawing these glasses on me. I don't know why, but we're just doing that for now. So whatever, that's there's that. So if we hit play, you'll see that those are on my face. We could also like, let's do something better than that. So we could take this whole track, delete that track. Let's do something more fun. So if we do a new track here, come up here to the beginning, I could bring this down. Whoops. I should put a glove on. Could like do a little kind of like exploding sequence. So if I go on to this next one, I could move those out a little bit. Apologize for the sniffles. I'm trying to avoid doing that into the camera. And then we could just, you know, have those like burst. And then just sort of drop down to resolve it. And now we can hit done. If we come in here and we play that, it's a cool way to just like add animations easily onto a video, which I think is kind of fun. Thank you for saying feel better, Laura. I appreciate that. So yeah, this is, I think there's a lot of cool stuff. I think hold on one second. Sorry, I just had to blow my nose a little bit. Okay, so it's pretty cool. So I want to show how I think this is sort of like, for example, I'm back in Fresco for a second. And because it's just like a full-on just a drawing software situation, it just like immediately feels like there's so much more room because there's not all that other stuff going on. But for example, if I wanted to do that same sort of situation with like that little flying monster thing, like already my drawing experience, as you can see, is just like so much better because like I have the brushes set to what I like, and like, you know, this is a dumb fly thing, but it looks better than the other one, but you know, that's just a whatever. But if I wanted to animate this and do that same sort of path thing, I just click on the animation thing here, hit plus, not tracing the wing down. I'll do one more. I always forget to bring my glove down when I'm live streaming, and then I accidentally do things with the palm of my hand. Okay, so I got this sequence here, and I can do the same thing quickly where I don't even have to group it. I can just transform this. We got that, and let's say I wanted to fly around. I can just draw a path. You know, it's flying all over the place. I can also like, you know, easily modify that path if I just wanted like a little hover situation. Whoops. I put a little dot on there, but whatever. If I just wanted like a little hover thing, could go like that. Could make it faster. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do much quicker here. You know, I could obviously add more of these and like grow and shrink them. Like this would still be super complicated to do in Procreate Dreams. And like here, I filled the screen with flying bugs. So I think they're very different. So I'm not trying to say Fresco is better in this regard. What I'm saying is they have different strengths. Like if I wanted to create a story where this little bug monster goes and does something, absolutely could not do that in Fresco without just a super annoying like everything would have to be in this one little timeline thing to get it to go. Whereas in Procreate Dreams, we could move stuff along this entire story. So let me come back here. Another cool thing you can do in Procreate Dreams is you can directly import your Procreate files. So, for example, if I grab Procreate, hold on a second. Okay. Pull this up next to it like this. I can take this thing I did and just like drag it in, and it'll import it into my file and bring this over to the beginning. And you'll see it's just, you know, this monster here. I can come in and like scale it to not like that, scale it like this. And what we can do here is hold on this frame, and I can go convert layers to tracks. So what this does is it breaks it all apart. So all of my different layers are here. So for example, I've got this little helicopter thing here. I could go ahead and like, you know, we could do that like act thing or perform. So I could grab this and then just like fly it around my scene. Now if we hit play, you'll see that flies around, which is cool. We can double tap to undo that. What I would do first, if I wanted it to fly around, is I could, I guess I double undid there. I could make like a little sequence for the propeller. So what I could do is go here and go to plus, add a track. Let's pinch this down. Let's move this. Oh, I think we can move it down after. So what I can do here is go into drawing mode, move this down, then come up here and grab, I don't know, let's grab, whoops. That color, and then get like a pencil brush. Go like that, and then let's turn on our onion skins. Okay, so now we hit done, we come back here. What we can do is take this, come into this edit mode thing, and then select this sequence, and then we can long hold, group this, and now let's move this track down, hopefully. We got too many tracks here. Basically, I'm just trying to get it above my helicopter. Okay. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and duplicate this, and then select both of these, long hold, group. So I'm just duplicating this so that I have enough of them for the length of the timeline, because that's how long the helicopter goes for. So now I can group that, duplicate, oh, not delete. You want to duplicate, not delete. Okay. Let us duplicate that. Did I mention I have a cold and I am slightly brain dead today? Let's group this, and now we just have to do it once more. Okay. Duplicate. And now what we can do is draw through and select all of that and group it. And it says no. Maximum, what have we done here? I think because these are all in a group, it says we have maximized what we can do. How do I ungroup this? Okay, let's see if we can do it now. I think because it was all in a group, it didn't want to group it all. And also this one is too long. So I think what we can do here, we need to trim this. And I think we can just drag it. Not like that. Deselect, stop selecting. Okay. Okay, I think we did it now. Okay, so if I go back into edit mode, now I should be able to select all of that. And now this better group, it did it. Okay, cool. So now let's go back over here. What in the heck of the world happened? You guys ever seen Procreate Dreams? Look at that. Where's our helicopter? What did I do? Let's undo whatever I did here. So when nothing's selected, we can like transform now, I believe. There we go. So now I can put this back. Oh, I think it like scaled it when we ungrouped it. Because so what had happened was because we ungrouped everything, it changed the scale of each. So there's a lot of stuff that I feel like should be more intuitive here, but it's not. Like this needs to rotate or something. I don't know. That, for our purposes, I think this will be fine. Okay. So now that we fixed that, we can come into this edit mode and then group this all together again. And now this should be synced. Okay, cool. Great. So if we get out of that edit mode, select that layer. So the tricky thing that they're dealing with is like, this is a lot of stuff to have on like an iPad screen. But if we go back to the beginning now, we have that all as a group. We can go into perform mode, which is the circle, and make sure that you have that layer selected. Now I can go like this. The one thing that's annoying is I think it should stop automatically at the end, but it doesn't, but we can just drag it back there. Okay, so now if we come back to the beginning, we zoom out, we can see we've got our helicopter flying around, which is pretty cool. Still got extra space at the end, I think, because it's all not going to the full end, but that seems like an easy solution that could be fixed by maybe just dragging them all out, but I don't know, doesn't want to do that. Also could be because we've got stuff over here. Well, that's just a timeline issue though, so that's not that big of a deal. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yes, Weston, my propeller shifted all over the place. Jen, I'm glad that you like this. So Shalom said, so far the only thing Procreate Dreams has better than Fresco is perform mode and the price. I mean, sort of. Well, so I mean, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make an animated cartoon, you can't do it in Fresco. You need Procreate Dreams or something else to do it like that. I think that this is a very powerful app, and you can do some incredible things. Like even just the samples in here. Like I'm sure some of you guys have seen this stuff, but they include them in here. But like this, you know, this is incredible. Like you can't. This is not something that can be done. You know, using Fresco or regular Procreate. Like you need full-on animation software for this kind of thing. And also the thing about pricing is like for 90% of the people, the free version of Fresco is great. And then even if you are paying for the premium one, I mean, $9.99 a year, I feel like, you know, this is, you'd be using it for 2 years and then you catch up, but this isn't a replacement for Fresco, and it's not, this is a separate kind of thing. Let's see. So Matt Ho, is it possible to import from Fresco? So technically you could, what you could do is import so Fresco files are PSD files. So you could technically import your PSD into Procreate and then take the file from Procreate into Procreate Dreams. So, yes. So what was I gonna say here? So the fact that you can do sound and video and this as animation software is cool. There's some other cool features that I was gonna play around with in using like keyframing. So let me just let's draw a face. I'm gonna draw. What am I drawing with? I don't want to draw with a pencil. Double tap, undo that. I'm gonna draw a Ninja Turtle because that's what my kid asks me to draw all the time lately. This is really good Ninja Turtle, in case you were wondering. Probably one of the best Ninja Turtle drawings you've ever seen. We'll fill that in. Didn't do a good job filling because I forgot for Procreate, when you fill, you need to hold and drag the oh boy, see? This is why I don't, when people tell me about how the fill in Procreate is the same, sort of, but like this threshold thing, like you got to make sure you got enough room. Okay, so let's start over here. And now we've got room to move. We've maxed it out and we still have a ghosted line. So how good is that? Not good. Okay. This is the worst Ninja Turtle ever. Okay, we're just doing a demo here, so stop judging my Ninja Turtle, okay? Like, how is this better than a paint fill? That's my question. Which Ninja Turtle are we doing? That's the real question. We're gonna do Dwani. Oof, this color combo is rough. Okay, so we've got this, and now we can do some like keyframe stuff here, I think. Track options. We zoom out. So I think what we can do here is we can do like a move. We can do a warp. And we can like squish things. So I think we don't want to do that one there. We can put that keyframe so it's normal when it starts, and then we come out here. And you'll see that this is like dark red in the middle. If we tap that, it'll be white, and that's adding a keyframe. So what that means is here, if we change something, it'll just happen there. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if we could like do some weird warping to this image. I don't know why I would want to do this, but we could do that. This is real stupid. But if we scroll through our timeline, you'll see it does that. Huh? What? See, that's how that works. And you can do other things too. Like we put one here in the middle, and we can do a different kind of thing. So we could go to, not warp. We could do filter. we could do a hue, saturation, brightness, and maybe he's getting pale or something because he got scared. I don't know. So you'll see it changes there, and then you could like move it. So you could drag it over here so he doesn't do that until the end, and then it slowly happens. You could then come in and, you know, delete that keyframe. We could come over here and do something like you can do like a blur. So to like maybe his head moves quickly and it blurs, and then you could move that like here to show that like motion blur, which he's not moving fast enough. So let's say we wanted to just move these things closer so it happens a little bit faster. And then we want that motion blur to go away after he moves. So we would have to come here, tap that again, and then bring that to 0. And now you'll see there's just that little blur, which, you know, doesn't look very good, but whatever. So these are different ways that you can do this kind of thing. Just blowing my nose again, you know. So yeah, I can't imagine Procreate bringing vector to their artwork. Someone mentioned that in the comments. So there's like the different ways that you can animate are like the keyframing like this, which is like that traditional sort of way where you're just like taking your image and then telling it to do different things at different points. We could do a oh, this is the thing where I was talking about with set all easings. So there's like linear, ease in, ease out, and then ease in and out. So I think we'll need to do a more dramatic change so you can see how that works. So what we can do here is go to, not that. Let's go to, actually, let's split this so that we're starting a new thing here. We could do a move thing. So we'll put this over here, and then we can come over here and do another one, put it over here. And now if we play that here, let me get rid of this first part so that it's easier to, so I can demonstrate the ease situation. So now we take this and we can move it back over here. So let's take this, put that over there. Okay. So let's move these further apart. This, what are we doing here? Move. What is this one? That's that. What's this one? Okay, delete this. Delete keyframe. I said delete. Okay. Okay. So now, why is it not moving? Oh, there we go. Okay. So now you'll see that moves across the screen at that speed. If we come in to change the easings and we put this to linear, you'll see that it moves at the same speed all the way across. And if we drag this out further, like this, it'll be even more dramatic. So there's no change in speed here. If we come in here now, and change this to ease in, it'll start slow and then it'll go fast. So you see it starts slow and then goes a little bit faster. It's subtle because it's far away, but we can let's do the ease in and ease out. So this one will, you'll see it like speeds up and then slows down at the end. So apparently there's a way where it'll just play. Oh, so that's cool. So if you're zoomed in, it'll only play to that area, which I think is helpful for demonstration purposes. So you can have that movement, but you can also pair it with like other things. So for example, I can come into the middle here and add a motion blur thing, and then come over here and add a another one where I can move that down to nothing, and then come over here. Tap that so it's white, and then I can bring that down to nothing. So now you'll see there's a little bit of a blur in there at the beginning. I'm looking at the chat and there's like all kinds of different like animation apps people are talking about, and it almost seems kind of like a joke because they're just like funny different names, where it's just like Cartoon Saloon, no Moho, no Clip Studio, like there are all these different apps. It's wild. It's kind of funny. And then, you know, you can do all of these different things on separate things and control them differently. So like we can, you know, bring the hue saturation all the way down here. And because there's only one of those keyframes, it's going to stay like that the whole time. But if we put one here, tap, and then we can bring this back over here. Now there's like 2 color changes. The fact that it's like coming off the screen makes it a little bit hard to see, but you can see it's like changing color. Kind of boring what I'm showing you here. I still think the frame by frame is like my favorite way to animate and one of the coolest things. So I think the combination of frame by frame and the way that you can perform things, I think is awesome. So one other quick thing here. So like I just don't like any of these brushes very much, if I'm going to be honest. So let's do like a quick little frame by frame sequence here, writing out a let's turn on our onion skins again. I wish it would stay back to like what I chose originally. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly do some like spelling out of a word animation. We'll do a short word. Listen, I don't want to write out the word yo, but it's the shortest word I can think of right now. And we'll just do one more. Let's fix that up a little bit. Okay, so if we smash that down, you can like move your frames around, which is cool. Go over there. What's this one? So now I can like make it so it's not there right away. And if we hit, you can see that spells out, which is kind of fun. But then you can like take this whole thing. I think we can like make this so we can make this longer. So I can extend this to the end. So now we've got this sequence where, so we hit, let's turn off our onion skins. Okay. So we hit play, you'll see it spells out and it stays on the screen. And, you know, that's all fine and dandy, but it's a little boring. But let's say we wanted to make it like keep being exciting while it's on the screen. We could then come in here and do that like perform thing. And let's see, I think we could, I think we're supposed to get like a, yeah, okay. I think you're supposed to be able to type that in, maybe not. Anyway, while we're in perform mode, I think I can like spin this around or something. I don't know. Let's see what that does. So now if we play this from the beginning, you'll see it does that spin, and it did that like ease in, ease out kind of thing, which was, you know, looks kind of cool for that. You can also do something like subtle too, where you could go into this record mode, and now we could just kind of scale it a little bit like that. So now if we play that, we got that. So there are some cool things you can do with this, and I think that makes it kind of fun. William Elliott said, can you see yourself using Dreams to create animations for your client work? So possibly, but the kind of work that I get hired to do is typically adding motion to an illustration, but there are some situations where I think this could work well. So for example, I'm currently working on a project that's like a full animated sequence, but it's made up of like different, it's like different phrases morphing into other phrases. And because it is 30 seconds long, that's not something I would do in Fresco, but I still like prefer the drawing experience there and that sort of process. So I think I'd be more likely to just do the illustrations and the individual sequences in Fresco and then bring it into Photoshop to finish it, then do it in Procreate Dreams. I think if I was doing more of like a narrative animation, I might use Procreate Dreams more. I'm not quite sure. I do think the way that you can so easily draw on video, that's the thing that I'm most excited about, like the drawing on video, because I can do that now, but it's in Photoshop, and this is better than that. Like the fact that I can do this just on my iPad, that's a better experience. So I think in those situations, I would use Procreate Dreams. It's still a little early for me to determine how I would use it over other applications, but I'll definitely be experimenting with it more. It's also like hard to sort of break workflows for me that like I'm accustomed to. So there's that. I don't know how helpful this was, but I wanted to just sort of talk about it a little bit and just sort of give my initial thoughts on Procreate Dreams versus Fresco, even though, again, I don't think that they're not the same thing. They're not like, one or the other. So I guess I can take a couple minutes to see if there's any questions that I missed out on. If you did have a question in the chat that I missed, you could ask it again. I can take a few more minutes here. Daryl said, what if you fall in love with Dreams, but you have client work to do in Fresco? Well, I don't, I think I'm definitely way more of an illustrator than an animator. I like to do some motion stuff with my illustrations. And like the drawing experience itself is what I really enjoy. And like this isn't the best experience for just drawing. It's better than most animation software because it's mostly Procreate, and Procreate is a great drawing experience. But I don't know. Like I never really have project work that has to be done in Fresco. Well, except if I'm being hired to create something like a Fresco thing, but that is only once in a blue moon when I've only had like that Adobe project. That's the only person who would hire me to do that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't pass out and fall on the floor. Thank you again to all of my channel members. Definitely check out the links in the description to all of the Black Friday deals, especially the 25% in my shop, because there's been so much talk about vector. Be sure to check out my gritty vector brush presets, which will can get added into your Adobe Fresco. They're normally $9.99, but with 25% off for Black Friday, I think they're like $7 something, $7.50, $7.49. I don't know, something like that. Check those out. Link below. Link below. I'm gonna try to point to it. Oh, I did it right. Usually I point to the opposite side because of the flip thing. Let's see. Couple more questions. Gerald, you asked if I'm going to make any Christmas animations. I don't have any initial plans, but maybe. I think it's probably a good idea. I don't know what to do with them, but we'll see. Also, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see in my next live stream, because I do live streams every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Did you know that? I do. I do them. I think my favorite one was last week when I had my friend Josh here, but now I'm back to being by myself again. Okay. Let's see. There's a couple other questions. Not really a question, but a statement. Christopher Johnson said, "You wish Dreams was a bit more intuitive and things weren't hidden so much." So I think it's a tricky situation for them because it's a very powerful app that does a lot of stuff, and they're trying to make it as intuitive as possible, but like there's a lot to do. And I think if like the fact that some things are hidden, if they weren't hidden, it would be even more overwhelming. So they're trying to find this like balance where you can do all this really powerful stuff without feeling overwhelming, like if you were opening After Effects or something like that. Cool. Well, I'm glad that this was helpful for some of you, and I will see you all next week. New videos on Tuesday. I did 2 new videos this week. My last video was on Wednesday, so you may have missed it because I usually don't post videos on Wednesdays, but it was like my current illustration setup and like the different things that I'm currently using. So check that out. And then if you haven't seen my review of Kyle Webster's Fresco class, I highly recommend that because that class is so dang good. Also, that class is on sale for like $6.99 right now for Black Friday, and with my 10% off promo code, is the best money you could spend because Kyle Webster is amazing. His class is amazing. As someone who uses Fresco every day, I found myself taking notes because I learned so much stuff. So check that out. Okay. Thank you all. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.